So right now I'm working for a tutoring startup company in Boston called Axiom Learning, which is it's basically a tutoring center, but they call themselves a learning laboratory because what they're really interested in doing is figuring out what works in education, learning a little bit about how individual students' learning styles play into different pedagogical practices and curricula. So in addition to tutoring students at the elementary, middle, high school level, I'm also involved in developing curriculum and looking through some research. And I've also been promoted to work on the managerial side of things. So I talk to parents and I coordinate with the other instructors at the center. So after I graduated, I enrolled in the Dartmouth Volunteer Teaching Program, which is a long-standing program that has been going to the Marshall Islands in the Central Pacific for probably about 10 years. And so I did a year and a half with that program, volunteering. I was teaching in a small community on a coral atoll in the middle of the Pacific. A really interesting experience. And then when I came back, I moved to Boston because my girlfriend was living there at the time. And I found this job through a friend, and it seemed pretty interesting, so I've given it a chance. I really like it. I'm interested in getting back in the classroom. That's my long-term aspiration, is to be a classroom teacher. So the Marshall Islands is it's a small Pacific nation made up of 30-odd coral atolls. And a coral atoll, for those who don't know, is it's a land formation that has a ring of coral island that is surrounding a lagoon in the center. So it's a really unique landform, and the geography dictates a lot of how life is lived there. It's a small community, and I taught high school there at Jowett High School, and it was a great experience. I had to deal with a lot of interesting classroom dynamics, that I wasn't prepared for coming from doing student teaching here in the United States. A lot of it was, how do I motivate the students? Because in the Marshalls, there are not a lot of economic prospects for students who are graduating from high school, and college admissions are even lower. So to try to go in as an English teacher and get the students interested in what you're teaching and really feel that it has some connection to their life, it was a challenge. But I think I did a good job, and the students really enjoyed my class, and I certainly enjoyed it, and so it was a really good experience. So for me, what I really enjoy about being in the Lenfest scholar community is sort of the cyclical nature of every year. This time rolls around, I may have been in contact with various scholars over the year, but then June comes around and suddenly it's time to reflect on what I'm doing and sort of reflect on how that fits into the Lenfest picture as a whole. So I find myself asking, boy, am I doing something that would make Jerry proud at this moment? Am I doing something that I'd be excited to tell people about when I go back to Lenfest and talk to the community? And so it's a good way for me to sort of check where I am and what I'm doing, and sort of make sure that my life is on track in that way, and especially in terms of service, because that, I think, is such a crucial part of this. Mr. Bankert, certainly a great teacher. I believe he's still teaching Octorara, and he was a great guy because he came into a community like Octorara, which is rural community, and he just had a little bit of a different energy. He'd gone to Penn and Harvard, and he just sort of challenged the students to think about what their bigger opportunities might be, and to really consider themselves as candidates for those kind of great schools. So, and then certainly in introducing a lot of the scholars to this program, I think he did a great job there, and it had a really big impact on the student body. Well, thank you, first of all, and thank you for the opportunity, and on a personal level, but also thank you for your example and serving as a reminder to just reflect and make sure that what you're doing, what we're doing as scholars is meaningful and is doing something to contribute to the community and to the to the well-being of our fellow humans. I mean, it's just a great example along those lines.